cleaning the pool and dealing with the chemicals is going to keep the water clear and crystal. Okay? So the chemicals you're going to be adding on your pool has to be dry chemicals. For the reason is because it's a vinyl pool. So that's why, like again, if you hire a pool guy, you got to make sure you tell him it's a vinyl pool, because the vinyl pools is more delicate than the concrete. Okay? The life of this pool is the vinyl. And that's what I'm here to do in the orientation, to help you out to understand how you're going to maintain this pool and help the liner last you up to 10 years.
Okay.
If you don't follow the rules, if you don't follow the way it should be, the line is going to last you only 5 or 6 years, the most.
Okay.
Okay. So the chemicals you're going to add has to be dry chemicals. Okay. So if you hire a pool guy, make sure you tell him it's a vinyl pool, and just keep an eye on him the first time, so make sure that he's following, the instructions.
Okay.
So if he add the liquid chemicals, what is going to happen is going to deteriorate the liner.
Okay.
And that's why the liner is not going to last you that long. So it's going to last you less. So what we have here, these are the shocks, and then we have the water conditioner. Okay, now what you don't see there is the chlorine, the floater. It's because you have the chlorinator. Okay, that's the one that's going to sanitize the water in the summer, in the winter. But when you have a pool party, let's say you have a bunch of people in the pool, and there's like a bunch of kids inside. One of them or two of them, they're gonna pee. So that brings bacteria into your pool.
Right.
So in the following day, if you don't shock it, that water is gonna start turning green on you. So that's why I'm here to tell you what to do. So, like right now, it's kind of green like that is because it hasn't been running, and then the rain came into the pool. So that's where your pool. If we let this water, on the next couple of days, it's going to be all totally green, and then it's going to be a pain in the butt, clearing again. You have to spend more money on the electricity because you have to keep the pump running for 24 hours until it clears up. Okay. So what I'm going to do now? So this is the shock. Every time if you go to pool place and if they tell, oh, you shock the pool, is because they're talking about this.
Instachlor.
This is the super chlorine.
Okay.
Okay, that's the chlorine, but this is the super chlorine. This is really strong. So every time you add this, you gotta make sure that you run the pump for 8 hours. Within those 8 hours, make sure nobody uses the pool, because this is too strong. It's gonna irritate your skin and your eyes.
Okay.
Okay, so that's what we tell customers. Make sure when you add this, don't let nobody go inside.
Okay.
Okay, so the two occasions you're gonna use the shock is the first one when I was mentioning it to you, when you have a pool party. You have all your families come over, and you have a bunch of kids, and they leave that date, and then the following day use the shock.
The following day.
The following day.
What about everybody leaves at 6 and then you put in like a 9? Same thing?
Same thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you add it, when you add the chemicals, any chemicals you gotta be added. It has to be. The instruction will tell you how much to add, but your part, it has to be that you have to know how many gallons your pool has.
Okay.
So you know already it has 14,000 gallons of water.
Okay.
So the instructions of each chemicals, it will tell you how much to add. So on the shock, it tells that 1 pound, which is 1 bag, covers 10,000 gallons of water.
Okay.
So you have 14, you have to put 1.5 or 1.25. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to put a bag and a half, so that way it will clear it up. Okay. And all the chemicals, I don't know if I mentioned it, but all the chemicals has to be added through the skimmer. The only chemical you add directly to the pool is just the salt.
Okay.
Okay? And I'll go over with you after this. Okay? Through the skimmer.
Well, why does it go through there instead of the pool?
Because when you spread it outside, all that it goes into the walls. By the time it dissolves, it's going to start eating up your liner. That's the purpose. If it would be a gunite pool or fiberglass, you can add it directly to the pool.
Okay.
Because it's not going to damage.
Are those pools better or is the vinyl pool better?
They're almost the same. The only thing is that the vinyl pools, what I like it about it is that in an earthquake or any movement of the soil, this is better because these are more flexible. I seen customers, we have customers that had a gunite pool in the backyard, and since they have a big yard, they put a vinyl pool next to the other one or a couple of feet away from the one they had. We had one customer in Monterey Park, Chinito, and he had a nice gunite pool, but they were charging him like about 10 grand or 12 grand to fix it because it got damaged. So for him, it was too much money. So what he did was that he put like a couple of $1,000 more, and he put a vinyl pool. Yeah, all the dirt that we excavated, we put it on the other pool.
Wow.
Because of that, it was a big crack. They had to, one section, they had to replace the rebars and the plumbing. They had to put concrete. They had to put replaster, and it was a lot of money that he was going to spend.
Wow.
Okay, so the shock, the shock goes into the pool, and in a couple of seconds, a couple of minutes, it's going to start coming out of the, coming back to the pool. Okay, in about half an hour to an hour, you're going to see that the shock is going to start clearing up your water. Okay. All right, so that's your shock. But the chlorinator, what it's going to do is going to be producing your chlorine. But in the summer, when it gets 90, 100 and something, when it's really hot, the water evaporates. That's normal. So when the water evaporates, the chlorine is going to evaporate too. So we got to do something to prevent it. Because if you don't, when it evaporates, the chlorine is only going to last like about 2 days. We want it to last a little bit longer than that. So we got to use is water conditioner, which is that one right there. The water conditioner, what it does, it helps the chlorine to last longer. So instead of lasting 2 or 3 days, it's going to last up to 7 days. Okay, especially in the summer. So the water conditioner, what it's going to do is protect it. The water will evaporate, but not the chlorine. So that's really important. And the good thing about the water conditioner is that you don't have to add it every week, every month. You add it every 6 months.
Oh, okay.
So we're good. So I'm going to add it today. So by the end, probably by the end of June, which that's where the summer starts, that's when you add the other pounds that you're going to add. So the instructions of this says that 1 pound covers 4,000 gallons of water. 1 pound covers 4,000 gallons of water.
You need like 4 pounds.
So you're going to do almost 4 pounds. You do it, technically it has to be like 3 pounds and a half, but you can do 4 pounds.
Okay.
And the good thing about it is this bucket is 4 pounds already, so you don't have to get a measuring cup. But I recommend the customers, you can, if you buy the bigger bucket, so you can keep it in for to
Longer.
save it long term. Get yourself a measuring cup, so that way you will know how much you're going to add. The measuring cups, they come in 16 ounces, which is a pound. So if you do 4 cups of that, that will cover it. Okay. So I'm gonna add the whole bucket because it's 4 pounds, so that will be perfect. Okay. Same thing. It's dry chemicals. It's granular, so you add it through the skimmer. Same thing. Okay, you go little by little. In the summer, you're gonna test the water twice a week. Okay. In the summer.
Summer, twice a week.
In the winter, you do it once a week.
Okay.
Because you're hardly gonna use it, but you still gotta test the water.
Right.
So when you test the water, there's 2 ways to test it. Okay. The one, this one is the drops. They call it the drop test, and the other one is the strip test.
Okay.
You got the little strips, so you stick it in, you keep it for 5 seconds, and then 15 from 15 to 40 seconds, it gives you the actual result. This one, you just shake it, and it gives you the actual result. So what you're gonna do is really simple. If you're going to use the drops, you got to fill those 2 tubes with water. So you're going to submerge this 18 inches below the water. Almost to your elbow is almost 18 inches.
Right.
So you submerge this underwater, bring it up, and then the water is going to be all the way to the top. So what you got to do is you got to shake it a little bit because the water has to come to those 2 notches right there. So you shake it a little bit. Once it gets to the 2 lines, what you're going to do is it's really simple. You're going to do the red with the red and the yellow with the yellow. So you're going to do 5 drops of each. You're going to do 5 drops. And then you're going to do 5 drops of the yellow. That's your chlorine. Once you do the 5 drops, you're going to put the little cap. And then you hold it and you shake it. Once you shake it, it's going to give you the accurate result. It's really simple. If you see it here, the only thing you have to do is just match the colors, and whatever is matching is going to give you a number. Okay? With the pH, which is your acid, okay? Ideal has to be 7.6.
Okay.
If this is matching that will be perfect. But the instruction of the pH, it says that if it is between 7.2 and 7.6, you're fine. So that's good. If this is matching those 2 colors, it's perfect. But let's say if it is higher than that, if it is 7.8 or 8.2, you gotta use pH down. See? Got the pH down?
Oh,
pH up.
okay.
That's the way you balance. Okay? So if it is higher, obviously you're going to use the pH down.
Right.
So, but it will tell you how much to add on the back. On the back, it has a little table right here. It will tell you the gallons of water. You got 10,000 gallons of water. You got 20,000 gallons of water. You got 5,000 gallons of water. You got 2,500 gallons of water. Here is the number where it should be. See, between 7 point, ideal range has to be between 7.2 and 7.6.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if it is higher than that, if it between 7.6 and 8.0, which is this one right here, then you're gonna use the 10,000, which is your closest one. You're gonna do eight ounces of this.
Okay.
That's what you need a measuring cup.
So once you put this in, how long would you wait to recheck it?
You gotta wait like about 3 hours,
Oh shit.
2 to 3 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. That's what I tell the customer. Once you add chemicals, wait, because we need the water to circulate.
Circulate,
at least.
yeah.
Yeah. So wait 3 hours and then you test the water. Okay. So once you test the water, add the chemicals, and then once you see the result, give them 3 hours.
Okay.
Okay, to test it. Okay. Any questions?
No.
If it is, if the pH is lower, you're gonna use the
pH
pH
up.
up. Same thing. You're gonna use 8 ounces, another 8 ounces if it is too low to bring it up. Every
Okay.
8 ounces. Okay. On the chlorine is really simple. Your chlorinator is the one that's gonna be producing your chlorine. So I'm gonna show you. But where the chlorine has to be on the level has to be between 0.6 and 1.5.
Okay.
Okay, 0.6 and 1.5, and by the ideal is 1.0. Okay, the CL doesn't stand for chlorine. Okay,
And how are you gonna know? I mean, what does it look like?
you match these colors to those three in order to be perfect.
Okay.
Okay, so always put something white behind it so that way you can see a
Okay.
better result. Okay, now if it is a little bit higher, it's because the pH is out of balance. It's a little bit higher. So you need to balance the pH first in order for the chlorine to start balancing itself. Okay? pH helps the chlorine to balance.
So you balance the pH first,
And then the chlorine is going to balance by itself.
but you check them both same time 1st.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay? And that's it.
So if your pH is normal but your chlorine's not, or there would always be.
This is, once this is fine, this is going to be fine too.
Okay.
Okay? That's all it's going to do. Okay? Okay, now, let me go over with you. Any questions so far?
No.
Okay, let me go over. And another thing is that these are acid. Okay, don't mix the shock with this at the same hour. You gotta wait 1 hour in order to do. Like for example, I use the shock. The shock, if I want to use the pH down, I gotta wait an hour to do this because these are two strong different chemicals. If I add it at the same hour, I might produce a chemical reaction.
Oh.
Either I ruin the cell on the chlorinator or I ruin the filter. So that's what I'm here to tell you. Make sure you give them like an hour in between. Okay? With the water condition, that's fine because the water condition is neutral, and that won't harm the liner.
Okay.
Okay? I mean the cell or the filter. Any questions?
No.
Okay. Let's go over here with the chlorinator.